Hey guys, today we're doing a first impressions on the brand new Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin Foundation. I was a little bit weary to actually do this review because in the back of my mind, I was kind of just thinking that this is a repackaging and also shade extension of the original, I believe it was called Matte Velvet Plus foundation. That was kind of a cult classic foundation back in the day. I did have that foundation, although I don't have it anymore just because I think it just was really old and I threw it out. So if anyone knows if that is the case, let me know because I don't know. So I picked this up in the shade Y215. And what I like about Makeup Forever is that they tend to cater towards a lot of different skin tones. I don't think I've ever really had trouble finding a super pale shade in their collection, and looking at just like the shade range of this foundation in particular, it looks pretty inclusive and pretty evenly spread out, which is more than we can say about another recent foundation launch. Something that I thought might be interesting would be to compare this Y215 to the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation, which I also have in the same shade Y215. This is the Y215 in the Matte Velvet Skin that I'm going to be reviewing today, and this is the Y215 in the Ultra HD. So I mean, they're similar shades for sure. However, I'm going to say this Matte Velvet Skin has slightly more of a warm undertone, whereas this one looks a little neutral leaning warm to me. Okay, so this is the foundation that I'm trying out today, the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin in the shade Y215. This is the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation in the shade Gobi. This is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear Foundation in the shade 090. And this one here is the new Maybelline Superstay foundation in the shade 110 Porcelain. So this foundation is supposed to be long wearing. It does say 24 hours on here, although there is like a little star beside it, and then on the back it says 24-hour wear instrumental test on 20 subjects. So that's only 20 people that they actually did that test on in order to make that claim. And it also says full coverage, which I don't know, I feel like I need right now. My skin just isn't looking. This foundation was also 48 Canadian dollars, so it would be a little bit cheaper in the States, and you do get the full fluid ounce. So I think let's just do a little this, do a little that, and we'll try a sponge. Does have a scent. It's not super strong. It kind of just smells clean. So that blended out super easily. With a sponge, obviously I'm feeling like this is a lower medium coverage. I'm just going to put a little bit more on. I'm not sure if that added very much coverage, but it doesn't look cakey or anything when I built another layer. So I'm gonna try this side with a brush, the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. I think it looks pretty much the same on both sides. I don't think I got any more coverage with a brush than I did with the sponge. So I'm just gonna try and pack this on a little bit more. I mean, it's definitely not full coverage in my eyes. I feel like if you have a lot of pigmentation, scars, acne to cover up, then this is definitely not going to be as full coverage as you might want it to be. but it does give a really nice natural medium coverage. You know, it evened everything out and it definitely toned down the redness that I do have. It's definitely a matte finish, but I don't think that it is a super flat type of matte. There is still a little bit of natural luminosity coming through. I think that there are a couple spots, you may not really be able to tell, but a couple spots where I have some dry flakes that it's kind of sticking to, but nothing too major. I think it dried a little bit darker, but it didn't like dry a lot darker, and it definitely didn't like oxidize or turn orange immediately. I really appreciated that Sephora and Makeup Forever put this photo up to show what the swatches look like wet and dry. I really want to know if this is just like a shade extension and repackaging of the original Matte Velvet Plus. On makeupforever.com, you can still see the original Matte Velvet Plus product. However, you can't actually purchase it on this website. It just says like find a store. So it might just be like left on their website kind of by accident or whatever. From my memory, the Matte Velvet Plus original was a little bit thicker in formula. I remember it being kind of a pain to build, and I didn't really notice any super cakey issues when I tried to build this one. Either way, I think it looks really good. I feel like it just keeps looking better and better the longer that I have it on my skin. It feels like it has pretty much totally set down. So I'm not going to be setting this with a powder or a setting spray or anything, just because I want to see how long it lasts on my oily skin on its own. I also did not use a primer. I just, one, don't really like primers, and two, just in my personal experience, I just find it messes with my foundation and I just prefer to not wear one. So I will check back in with you guys in a bit. All right, I've been wearing the foundation for 4 hours at this point. I feel like it looks pretty good. I feel like the coverage hasn't really gone anywhere. I'm starting to get a little bit shiny as well, so you can probably tell just like my nose and a little bit on my forehead is starting to get a little bit dewy looking. It's nothing tragic, but I guess we'll see how much worse it's gonna get. I think overall it looks like I'm not really wearing much of a foundation, so I appreciate that. So I'm just going to continue wearing this and I'll check back with you guys at the end of the night. So I've officially been wearing the foundation for 8 hours. I could probably wear it for a bit more, but I kind of want to go swimming. I think it's all right. I think it's good. I'm definitely still shiny, but I didn't notice it get much worse versus like the 4-hour check-in, and it didn't really wear off that much either. I kind of like fell asleep on the couch for a minute, so it might be a little worn off on this side, but overall I'm pretty impressed with it. I have to say it did not keep me totally matte. As you guys saw, by the 4-hour mark I was already starting to get shiny, and although it didn't really get any worse, still, you know, I was dewy. And I would say that on the oily spectrum, I'm like a more mild to like medium type of oily skin. I don't have a severely oily skin, so I don't know. Is this a miracle product for oily skin? Probably not. I have memories of the original Matte Velvet Plus being more oil controlling than this. However, I still like it. It was really easy to apply. It looked pretty good on the skin. It gave the kind of finish that I typically like, which is kind of like a soft matte but still natural, and I'm not like a mess, you know. It didn't really separate. It doesn't look crumbly and disgusting, so I'm like pretty happy with it. I'm definitely going to continue to wear it. My thing is like if I can find a good shade match for me, which this one was pretty good, I tend to wear those the most, even if they don't last as long, because it is so hard for me to find a good shade match that I just kind of deal with, you know, it may be looking a little shiny at the end of the day or whatever. And overall, I think this is worth trying, especially if you have like a normal to moderately oily skin. I think if you have dry skin, like I mentioned before, it did pick up on a couple of dry patches on my face. Okay, so that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos. I love you guys so, so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.